right here, our marginal costs are way above our average costs. So that means in order to produce 12 or even 11 units, our MC is going way above AC. So we should say no to production from 10 on. From 10 and below, yes, we can definitely produce because the cost that it takes to make one more unit is still lower than your average cost. Okay, so 8, 9, 7 units. The average costs are below marginal costs. So yes, it's still profitable to actually perform within that area. Okay. Now we're going to go on to the next section. It's called marginal analysis. This is section 4.2. So now we're basically going to perform a marginal analysis in order to make decisions for our business. This takes our new marginal cost concept into account and adds in what we call marginal revenue. So this was marginal cost, and now we're going to go ahead and go to marginal revenue. Okay? Marginal revenue, of course, marginal is the +1 again. Marginal revenue is the additional revenue gained from selling one more unit. So whenever we're talking about selling something, we're talking about price times quantity because we're looking at revenue, okay? The formula for marginal revenue is the change in total revenue divided by the change in quantity, where delta means change. And TR is total revenue. And that is calculated as P times Q, so price times quantity. And of course, Q is just quantity. So for example, let's say that we sell some bowls, okay? We sell bowls for $10 each. So here is our chart, our basic chart that we'll start off with. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The price of each bowl is $10. Okay? Let me make sure, because I don't think I need a price for the let me see. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to make sure I don't need a price up there for the 0. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to keep the price up here for the 0 quantity. Even though we're only producing 0 units, we're still going to have a price for it. Okay, so in order to this is our Q line, this is our P line. So this is quantity, this is price. If we're going to factor in total revenue, which is just an extra portion of the graph, all we have to do is just do P times Q. So P times Q over here, our total revenue is $0 because we're not producing anything. Right here, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50 because P times Q, so that's 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3, and so on. Okay? Now, since our marginal revenue, I will rewrite this formula up here at the very top, is the change in TR divided by the change in Q, we can go ahead and add in marginal revenue inside of this chart. So we can say here's our Q, here's our P, here's our total revenue, and here's our marginal revenue now. So we have a quantity of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our prices are $10 just the same. Our total revenue has not changed. Okay. And now our marginal revenue is the change in total revenue divided by the change in quantity. Now, whenever we're doing this, we're not actually going to have a marginal revenue for our 0. for our zero quantity. The reason why is because we have nothing to compare it to. Delta, the change in total revenue, means that you have to compare it to a previous quantity. Zero, there's nothing to compare it to, so we will not actually have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in our marginal revenue column. We will only have 5 because we are not considering zero. So now we're just going to compare 1 to 0. So our change in the total revenue from going from 0 units to 1 unit was just a change in $10, okay? The change in our quantity, we only increased it by 1 unit. So our change in TR was just from 0 to 1. Our change in Q was just a change, let's scratch that. Our change in TR was a change from 0 to now $10. Our change in Q is now a change from 0 to 1. So our marginal revenue is $10. If you continue with this exact same formula, you will see that you will get $10 all the way down. Okay? Because each total revenue amount changed by only $10. We're only increasing it by 1 unit because it's just marginal. Remember, that's just plus 1. So it's always going to be 10 divided by 1, like right here, which equals 10. Okay? Now we can go ahead and start to factor in marginal cost. In order to factor in marginal cost, of course, we have to factor in total cost, okay? So when we're looking at marginal cost, remember that formula once again is the change in total cost over the change in quantity, which is why we have to factor in total cost at this point. So now I will go ahead and turn the page horizontal so I can have a little bit more room. We have our Q, we have our P, we have our total revenue, we have our total cost now.